As you have found your way to Mortgage Sense, a common sense approach to mortgages. My name is Kevin Blair with Element Home Loans. And if you ever thought about insurance, and I know we all just sit in our homes and think about insurance every single day, but you know what? You should be. And we've got a young lady. In fact, she is the newest sponsor of our podcast, Miss Sydney.Blackwell with Goosehead. I'm sorry. Miss
Hey, it's a common
Sydney,
mistake.
how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am doing fan-freaking-tastic. So I'm going to put this out here publicly. We've just talked about this, but I also want to make sure that people know this. So, all the deals that we've got coming in now, and of course, you're our partner, so we send you all of these deals. We
Right.
have family getting ready to close here in about 4 or 5 days, and they got a quote from their current place, and it was ridiculously expensive. We sent her to you. You saved them 125, which it made it. And I don't know if you know this, but it made it a deal instead of a dead deal. Okay.
Right.
So, guys, if I can, in fact, part of my day, on Wednesdays and Thursdays, Sydney, I do my database calls. Okay.
Right.
And we do what I call a mortgage review. And part of that mortgage review is let's look at your insurance, because I feel like people should be doing a insurance review once a year.
They should.
So tell me what's going on in your world.
Yeah. I mean, everybody can see right now. I mean, just look at the house rates. It's kind of the same thing with insurance. House rates are up, insurance rates are up. So everybody's right now experiencing increases with their renewals or increases in just in general whenever they are going and reshopping their insurance. But you're a good example. The guy that I helped out, we were able to save him a little over $100 a month. He had a daughter, and I bundled his auto insurance on there too to help him get a deal. His auto insurance, I helped him along with that too, and we took a look at it. But there's just so many different variables that can come into your insurance, and even having a kid that's like teenager and stuff like that can just send it through the roof. But luckily, we are still able to give our clients great premiums and lower premiums than most of their captive agencies or other carriers as well.
And you know what? That's important. And it's one of those things where I've always said, I mean, Sydney, if I'm going to be an asset to this community, all right, and I'm not talking about because we go to church here, we've raised a family here, we've got kids here, we support
Right.
businesses here. So if I'm going to truly be an asset to this community, and I'm getting somewhere, if I'm going to be an asset to this community, I want people to get the very best deal. And sometimes that's not with me. And,
Right.
and and what I tell my families is, hey, if I'm not the best, let me help you with your shopping and let's compare apples to apples, because there's
Right.
a lot of things in your business. There's a lot of things in my business that people try to hide. All right. I would rather be 100% transparent and people know that I'm telling the truth. And it's the same thing. So why is it, and I'm going to put you on the spot here, why is it that you were able to save this family $100 a month? Because
Yeah. So,
they had called 2 other people and
yeah.
got similar quote and one higher. What made the difference?
So I will say, one of the main reasons why I decided to go with Goosehead as well, me and my partner, was because of options. The most important thing, especially in today's market, is options, and we got 40 of them.
Okay.
And we're constantly adding on more as time goes by. But you know, the second thing that's most important is that we represent our clients. So we're not selling, just something that a carrier is giving us, and we don't represent the company. We represent our actual clients. So I'm sitting here and I'm like, okay, this is what you need. If you have a tight DTI ratio, we're going to find something that can get you, underneath that ratio, so that way you can still buy your home. So luckily, with having all these options available, it pretty much is like not a one size fits all, but a multiple sizes for all kinds of different scenarios that can happen within a family. Not everybody's perfect credit score, perfect this, perfect DTI, anything like that. So whenever we do have those tougher cases, having those options available, it really does help. And I think that the options in general is what really sets us apart from captive agencies and other areas as well.
Okay. Fantastic. So you're doing your business just like I am. We're actually going deep.
Yeah.
Let's dig deep. Let's find out the very best options for you. Because when somebody calls me, I'm not already automatically thinking this is FHA or this is
Right.
conventional. I mean, let's look at both of them put them side by side. Let's make sure it makes financial sense for them. So
Right.
let me ask you a question. I know the answer, but I want you to explain this. Okay. So when a family comes to you and like you said, you looked at their car policy, is it always cheaper to bundle and put the car and the home together?
I will say, and I mean, of course, everybody would like more money, so of course, I want everybody to bundle. But there are certain scenarios where, majority of the time, I would say 9 times out of 10, it makes it cheaper just because you have that bundle discount, and it's going to affect the policy and the auto policy as well. But there are some situations where people just went a little crazy with their cars, and so it can kind of hurt them sometimes. But yeah, you got to be careful with that. But other than that, I would say 9 times out of 10, it does. So I always try to offer it. And whenever people don't they're calling for homeowners insurance a lot of times whenever we're working together and you guys are sending me somebody. So, the auto's not on their mind. And I just tell them, hey, I already have some cars that pulled up over here. These are cars that match the autos you're driving. And I say, let me go ahead and just run a quote. Let me bundle it, see if it'll make it cheaper. Just because, like I said, and especially in our area, we do have quite a few people that are in that tight DTI.
Right.
So, and in this economy too, it just happens all the time. So I try to dig deep and find all the avenues, and bundling is one of those ways to give a discount for sure.
And I know that most people, their mindset. In fact, I had about 15 years ago when I was managing over 100 loan officers. I was a single loan officer for the company, and they elevated me to running the entire company as far as the sales. And everybody said, what makes you different? What makes you special? Why are you closing more deals than anybody else? And it's one of those things where we really dig in and take care of families. And I know the sales cycle, and I know how people, when they're dealing with what they think are salespeople, because Sydney, believe it or not, I don't think what you do, I don't think what I do, I don't think it's a sales job. I think it's an advisement and a counselor on the products that we have. And I know everybody's reaction is they're right here.
Yep.
Okay. They're thinking they're going
They
to
think we're
dodge and
cars,
weave and throw.
you know?
That's right. And, we said, well, let's take a look at your car policy.
Yep.
Well, no, wait a minute. I called you for my home insurance. I know, Mr. Customer. However, if we put them together, I may be able to save you money overall,
Right.
and maybe able to save both policies. So it's my superpower. Okay, if we're going to call it a superpower, is getting people to put their hands down
Yep.
and talk.
Yep.
And just, if I can't help you, I will tell you I can't help you.
Oh yeah, I do all the time. There have been very few instances where maybe my policy, my premium that's coming up for them, it just isn't cutting it. And so I do know, like a farm bureau in town, a lot of times with commercial insurance or with teen drivers, it can give you a little bit better of a premium than I probably could, or maybe AAA if that's something that you can do. But if it ends up being wild, because I don't ever want anybody to just go with me just because it's me or anything like that, or just because they're forced to because of their home policy, because a lot of times people want their all insurance at the same place. But if they don't realize that, whatever benefits them is where they need to go. It's okay if it's better to not bundle and you go on to this agency, do it. I'm 100%, do whatever saves you the most money, but make sure you are also fully covered. So.
Fantastic. Well, there's a reason why we're partners, is because you take care of people. You're serious about your business. And plus you're just nice. I mean, come on, you're just nice. Well, hey, Sydney, what's the best way for people to reach out to you?
The best way for people to reach out to me is 423-599-5854. I've switched the number up a little bit just to make sure I'm not missing anything. And then my email is Sydney.Blackwell@goosehead.com.
Fantastic. And guys, I'm Kevin Blair with Element Home Loans. If you've got any mortgage needs, if you've got any insurance needs, reach out to us. If you just want to ask questions, reach out to us. If you're planning on buying in the next year, it's not too soon to start talking to either one of us. Okay. It's about setting a plan in motion. If you like this kind of information, hit like, hit subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. And one last thing that I'm going to say, get a mortgage review and get an insurance review. Even if you're not a past client of mine, I can review both of these for you, get Sydney involved, and we can see if we can make or save you some money. If we can save you some money, we take it to the next step. If we can't, there's no harm, no foul. Miss Sydney, thank you so much for your partnership. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your friendship. And thank you for taking care of our clients.
Thank you for having me. Glad to be here.